Ah, yeah, Ambush. And today we are joined by a Canadian pop artist who believes that your own value is not determined by what others think of you. And she is making this message true through her music. She debuted 3 different songs in 2021. And here in 2022, she just released her first single of the year. With it comes a little bit of a vibe shift, a little bit of a mood shift with these things. And I am so excited to dive into a song entitled No. With our guest here today, she is Chayce Kennedy. How's it going today, Chayce?
It's good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, having myself a bright, beautiful, sunny British Columbia morning. I wish it would cool down a little bit, but other than that, we're doing great.
Awesome.
So of course, like we mentioned, you are released your debut track there in 2021. You've sort of been building up here. You've been moving forward, and of course in 2022 here brings us a little bit of a different song here for your 4th track, for your 4th single. So that's where I want to kick things off here, is what exactly inspired the shift towards maybe a little bit more of like a dark alt pop tune for you?
Yeah, so I was really fortunate to work with Brian West, a Grammy producer. And I walked into the studio and I thought, I wanted to do something different because my 3 songs out right now are very, happy and cheerful and fun, very bright. But I wanted something different to show variety in my music. So I walked in there and I'd never really done a song like that before, even like written one on my own at my piano. So I just wanted to change things up, see what we could get. Wanted a little Billie Eilish vibe and sort of like spooky and dark, which is not really me. I'm very bright and cheerful and joyful and smiley. So it totally like contrasts my personality. But I thought it was important to get a song that had variety and that was different. So walked in there with some ideas and just sort of rolled with it. Brian had some amazing ideas and some input too. And that's when we created No. Start from writing it, creating with some sounds. Yeah.
See, that's one thing that I really like, is it's like, as artists, some people expect like, oh, how come their music sounds different? Well, it's like, we're all human beings. And as human beings, like you even mentioned, like normally I'm not like this type of person, but as human beings, we have such a range of emotions that like you as an artist should be free to express all of those, right?
For sure. And I always try to put a message in my music. And a lot of the songs I just write at home and I perform acoustically, they're about body image, mental health, breakup songs, like many songs like that. And that's what I did with Ryan Stewart before with the 3 release songs like Breakup, Love, Heart Pain, Summerland. But now I wanted to, a message, self-empowerment, not needing someone to determine your worth for yourself, and really being independent with that and being able to stand on your own, I guess, and have that message, as that is something that is important to me for sure.
Okay, so not just the style of the music you're challenging yourself, but you're challenging yourself also in like the content of the song as well then.
Yeah. And just, I always try to write about things that I believe in, positive message. And I thought that was something, I'm always sitting here and I'm like, you know what? You don't need anyone to determine your worth for you. You don't need I guess you just don't really need to listen to the haters and let them push you down. I'm all about self-empowerment, really believing in yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a very important message to spread, especially inside of, today's society where it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. And then, of course, like you say, it's other people's opinions of you. You don't know what lens somebody else is looking at you through, right?
For sure. Yes.
So it is. You have no idea like what their world experiences are. So their view of you, as much as you might be like taking it to heart, it could be completely like skewed and have like no idea of like who you actually are as a human being.
Absolutely. And deep down, you know yourself better than anyone else. And obviously, be a good person. Be nice to people always. Be respectful. But know your worth for sure.
Absolutely. So, of course, you mentioned you got to work with a Grammy Award-winning producer, Brian West, to help you to craft this new single. So, what was that opportunity like to get inside the studio with such a world-renowned producer?
It was so exciting. It was, I was a bit nervous walking into it because I'm young. And before, when I've worked with producers, young female artists, sometimes you don't really get heard to full potential, I guess. But I was nervous because he is such a great producer and he's worked with so many amazing mainstream artists. But I walked in and he made me feel at home in the studio completely. As soon as I walked in, all my ideas were heard. He was so respectful, so creative, so talented, and just the whole experience was absolutely incredible. And one thing with him is he has no time limit on the song. You know what? Come back. If you don't like something, we're going to fix it. We are going to work on this until it is absolutely everything that you want. And he takes his time. He nitpicks it. Every little thing, him on the making the sounds, he's very, very critical with it. Make sure it's very perfect and there's no little mistakes. But all in all, just a great guy to work with. And like I said, like at the studio, you have to feel comfortable. Otherwise, how can you be creative? And I've had situations before where it's like it's not very comfortable and you can't be creative to your best potential, I guess. But with him, it was just so fun, so comfortable, so creative, and just all in all, a great guy to work with. Great studio. We worked at Hipposonic in Vancouver, BC, and amazing studio. I'd never been to anything like it before. All the rooms, the different microphones, the pianos, the guitars. It was beautiful. So just all in all, amazing experience.
Probably sitting there like, I want to play with all the toys, but I have to record music. But like,
I had to go hop on that beautiful grand piano a bit. Like, when he's just sitting in the studio trying out sounds, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go hop on the piano, run through the lyrics, create a melody, then I'll come back with something. And it was so fun.
Divide and conquer. Let's go.
Yes, exactly. And I go in and I'm like, hey, so I came up with this. He's like, okay, amazing. I came up with this. I'm like, amazing. So it was really good, bouncing ideas off of each other. Yeah, it was great.
Hey, it sounds like it was a very productive studio sessions for sure.
Totally. And the snacks too. He had, snacks are very important in the studio,
Yes.
Burning energy, working hard. So he has helpers, like interns, I guess, go out and get snacks and coffees. It's really the full-on experience.
Ooh, caffeine is also very important when you're inside the recording studio because, like, you get some very long sessions, and you got to be aware.
Yeah, you do, for sure.
Let something slip, and then you end up releasing the song. And how did that end up in there? What?
Yeah. Don't know. The creative process. Hey, sometimes you have a bit too much fun.
Hey, I mean, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. Like you said, sometimes you can get the opposite of that, and that's never a good thing. It usually doesn't create good art. So
no, you are correct.
We'll take the other side of things.
For sure.
Fantastic. And of course, this track here, it's been out for, I believe, a couple of weeks now here. Probably at least like 3. So now you've had a little bit of time to, some people have heard this song. You've been able to hype it up. Some friends, maybe some fans. Maybe you've been able to play it live a couple times. What has the reception been like to sort of shift in style for Chayce Kennedy?
People were definitely surprised as it is different. And for all in all, people have really liked it. The message, I've got a lot of positive responses with just the message, self-empowerment, the new sounds, kind of the dark side, the edgy. I feel like people like that. And the one thing is the song is a bit long, 4 minutes long, but I feel like it tells a story. The journey's there. But all in all, positive feedback, which has been really great because I was a bit nervous about it at first, releasing those 3 very bright, cheerful songs and having a total turn. But it was so exciting, so exciting. And now having a bit more of a team with this release, as the other releases, I didn't really have much of a team. It's been very nice with the tips and the pointers and more press, hearing what people have to say, to a broader audience.
Yeah.
As it is targeting bigger audiences now than my prior releases. It's really neat to see for sure.
Those struggles of the independent artist, right? Like you release your first song and you don't really realize how many different things actually go into releasing music.
Yeah, it's sort of crazy because you think, okay, it's going to release, okay, and then it's going to get on the playlist, and then we're going to get listeners, and then people are going to hear it, and then I'm going to get press. But it's so not that way. You need to know your social media. You need to have someone actually pitching your music. It's so much more than I previously thought and realized. So now with having a team and realizing all this stuff and having people that are really good, I guess, in that area, like social media as my social media manager or my publicist, Mavis, that is what they do and that is what they specialize in, and they are amazing at it. So it really helps for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also helps in freeing up some of your time so you're not worrying about all of these things. So you can focus on, the art of being an artist.
Music. Yes, for sure. It takes a lot of the stress off of me and my parents.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't even think about that. Like, shout out to supportive parents who help out too.
Sure. Yes, big time.
Any words you want to say to your parents? Any shout outs for probably the years of driving you to shows and practices and otherwise?
Yeah, just very supportive. All my thanks. Obviously, I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So very grateful, very grateful.
Fantastic. And of course, we mentioned driving to live shows and otherwise. And of course, as the world's been able to open, we've been able to, get out, get inside of some crowds, maybe a little bit more fuller crowds than we were able to before. I see that you've started playing with a live band. I see you played a prom recently. So, what has it been like to get onto the live stage once again? And B, what was it like to play a prom, yo?
Oh, it was so fun. It has been amazing getting back out there and performing because it had been a while. I did the V's hockey games in Penticton at the SOEC, which got me out. I did the anthems there, the Canadian anthem, which was so fun. Got me in front of people for experience, which was amazing. So much fun. But getting out there and performing with my band solo has been just a wild ride. Prom was literally one of the funnest times in my life. It was a big highlight. I had obviously a different prom than anyone else. When people were eating their fancy dinner, I was gathering with my band, getting the stage ready, getting prepared to start. So it was different, but obviously I wouldn't change it for anything. It was a great experience. And my band's been so great. We have a few more shows coming up soon. I'm performing solo a few times a week now, all over Penticton, Summerland, Kelowna, Vernon, Lake Country. So it's really nice. So Sue's Oliver, sort of all over around where I live. So it's just really nice to get out, as we have had a couple years where it's just been sitting in my studio writing music. And now I'm finally getting to share all my music that I have created, which is definitely rewarding. So it's really great.
Hey, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And like you say, it's your experience was probably a little bit different, but who gets to say they got to perform at their own prom, right? Like that's almost like a movie type of moment.
Yeah, it was really great. I was so excited that I had to get like a custom prom dress made, and then I had to get a second dress made that was sparkly as well as my prom dress that I wore performing. And that was shorter. So I had to have like my costume for performing just to make it that bit more extra.
I mean,
But it was great. I felt like a disco ball up there.
had you not, I think you just like wouldn't have done it right, Like
Yeah. No, you need to go all in, jump in with both feet.
you got to get the nice photos from it and stuff too. And
Yeah. Oh, it's very important.
make the most of that moment. It's, as you said, the struggle of the independent artist. You not need to rock in like social media. Who has that content? Who?
Well, thank you.
Oh my goodness. And from what I can see based on like the comments and otherwise on social media, it sounds like you rocked the joint. So anyone who's listening, if you're in the BC area, definitely maybe want to go and check yourself out a Chayce Kennedy show. What's the best place for the listeners to connect with you? Maybe find some of your concert dates and otherwise.
I have a website, chaycekennedy.com. Also, my Instagram is Chayce Kennedy. I have everything on there as well. But yeah, everything's on my website, chaycekennedy.com. Dates, photos, previous press, recent press, everything's on there. So it's all there.
Hey, perfect. That is your hub. It'll take you to wherever you need to go. And of course, we talk about things that are maybe coming up inside of the future. When I was visiting your website, reading through your bio a little bit, I saw some hints that maybe potentially there might be an upcoming EP in the future. So without giving away too much, what can you maybe tell us about a upcoming project?
Yes. So I'm actually hoping, so I have 2 more singles coming out soon. I have one coming out on June 18th and then another one following a month after. June 18th, the song. 18th. Oh, August 18th. Sorry, major blonde moment, August 18th. Yes, it's a slower song. It's called Dance Again. I actually haven't released that info, but I'm super excited about that one. And then after that, I'm hoping to go to Toronto to work with a producer there, a Grammy producer, and do an EP with him in the new year. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just working with hit makers left and right, studying, soaking in their information.
It's great. They all work so differently and have a different creative process. So, I mean, it's great learning from all the different producers out there and the different ways they work because they're all geniuses at work.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. And like you said, it's they all have their own way of doing things. A refined set of ears gives you a different way that maybe you didn't hear your music or something that you can apply to your music, learn, take it forward.
All different ways to get to the end product, but they're all great ways, just different. And it opens my eyes for sure to different perspectives, which is really nice.
Hey, fantastic. Fantastic. So, of course, we talk about some of these amazing opportunities that have come your way in this last year now that you've started releasing your music, putting yourself out there, starting to make more of a career of music here. So what I would love to know is what are some things that maybe you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for my band. My band has been amazing. Obviously, performing with me with Prom, we're getting to do bigger festivals together. So it has been really great. Obviously, great for my confidence too, being up there. Because I'm used to playing solo, on my piano. I do play my piano and I sing, which is so much fun. Great. But it's also nice to get off the piano and jump around on stage and be more free, I guess. So having that has been really great. I'm grateful for all the performing experiences I've had so far and the ones coming up. As I am fairly recent into this, jumping back into it from COVID. So people reaching out, me reaching out to people, getting different venues, more and more keep coming, which is so nice because it's just adding to the experience. All of them are so much fun. I look forward to them in my weeks, which is great. Meeting new people at all the new venues, really great as well. So much fun. I'm grateful for my parents' support. Obviously, wouldn't be where I am today without it. I'm grateful for everyone I've worked with, producers, grateful for my publicist, Mavis Harris. She's helped me so much this year with releases with my music. My social media manager, Britt, she's been amazing. I'm also grateful for, I guess, just all the experiences that have just came my way, I guess, with hard work. And you really see it paying off. I've had a supporter, Rourke Critchlow. He's an actor from LA, and he's been my mentor for years now and just hasn't stopped believing in me. I feel like sometimes you hit rough patches in the industry where it's like you sort of feel like you're not really getting anywhere. It's a bit of a pause and it can be a bit discouraging, but he's always there to be like, no, you got this, got to keep going. And I know that not everything comes at once and hard work does pay off. And so he's been really great. And obviously he's had an eye in the industry as he was in LA for many years in series and movies, working with amazing, talented people. So he's kind of lived in the spotlight for a bit. So he knows what it's like. So he's given me pointers. I'm just grateful for all the connections, all the people I've met, all the things I've got to do so far, all the experiences. Yeah, it's been a great ride so far.
It sounds like there's been a lot of people. It takes a village, right?
It does.
Well, I thank you for sharing the love to all of those people who have helped you to get yourself to this point, to this new incredible single, No. And I also thank you for joining us here today, Chayce, on the Desert Tiger podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.